Today we're going to compare all the graphic settings of Far Cry 6, so let's jump into it. Kicking off with overall settings, I can see Far Cry 6 in ultra setting looks absolutely gorgeous. Every detail is so well done. I'm in love with this game. Now let's go and look at it in high setting. In high setting, I do not see much difference from the ultra. However, if I go to normal setting, the grass density looks a little bit lower, vegetation looks simple, and even the density of them is very much low as well. The shadow quality looks blurrier as well, so I guess there's a difference. In lower setting, there's a lot of difference to notice because the game looks way more flat than it ever looked in ultra. Let's look at them side by side and decide which one looks the best. After overall settings, we're gonna choose and compare all the settings individually. Starting with shadows, we can probably say that shadow quality in this game is stunning. The simulation of live shadow here is very beautiful and is also quite smooth in ultra. In high quality, I think they quite look the same, and in medium setting, I guess it kind of looks low quality. Especially the shadow resolution is lower. On low quality, the shadow resolution is not only just lower, but the simulating feeling there, the realistic feeling there is also low, and it looks very pixelated. Now let's look at the next effect. Jumping on the next one, we have environment quality. Environment quality set to ultra looks absolutely gorgeous. Notice the mud, the reflection, and some of the pebbles, they are very much detailed and quite realistic for a video game. When you go to high quality, you can see that a little bit of difference is there on the ground. If we go to medium, the reflection on the mud looks very much flat and less detailed, as well as the ground effect. And when we go to low setting, there's a huge difference. The ground from ultra to low has a big difference in detail and in reflection. Now apparently the environment quality has a huge effect on water quality. Thus I'm going to look at some water and compare the environment quality. In ultra settings, you can see the water look very nice and quite even. From the deep water to the bank, they look pretty fine. But when you go to high, I can kind of see that the wave of the water look less detailed. And when you go to medium, take a look at the bank and the water, the details are low and the reflections are low and it looks more artificial. And when we go to low setting, on the bank, it just looks so fake and the reflection are almost zero. Thus it kind of looks like Fortnite. I don't know why I compare bad graphics to Fortnite. But anyway, you can get the idea that it is less realistic in low settings. And I would say for water quality, the environment quality setting has a huge effect. Now we are comparing texture filtering quality. In texture filtering quality, in ultra it looks good. In high, in medium, and in low quality, they almost look the same. Perhaps the quality in here is always very high. Now, texture filtering is supposed to make all these texture look very high quality, sharp, and easy to look at. Whereas without texture filtering, they are supposed to look blurry. Well, in this game, even in low setting, they look quite sharp. Luckily for the PC users who have low-end system, you don't have to use your texture filtering to the ultra. Next we have Volumetric Fog. Volumetric Fog is a very known effect in Far Cry series, and in Far Cry 6 it looks absolutely gorgeous in ultra. On high settings, I would say there isn't much difference in the game, but if you look at it closely, you're gonna notice that the sampling of the volumetric fog gets lower as the setting gets lower. On medium setting, there is some less volumetric fog and there are less samples on it as well. On the lower settings, there is almost none and the volumetric fog looks very low quality, kind of like pixelated stuff which is blurred and very fake, of course. After that, we're going to compare anti-aliasing settings. Now, we all know the difference, but we're going to see it once again. In TXAA, the graphics look fairly nice. On SMAA, it looks less blurry and less realistic, but I would say in SMAA, it looks fairly well and sharp enough. But when you turn it off, the edges are so sharp and so pixelated, it kind of gets in your eyes. So yeah, SMAA has always been my choice, but if you like TXAA, that is also fine. Okay, now we're gonna compare ray tracing reflections. In ray tracing reflection, you can see there are real-time reflection on the ground where it's kind of wet. The reflection looks absolutely gorgeous and kind of mirror-like, and when we turn it off, there isn't much of that realistic reflection, but rather just simple screen space reflection, which doesn't seem to be all that gorgeous. Now we are comparing ray tracing shadows. Ray tracing shadow does all that interacting with light source and object stuff. That adds realistic shadows to the scene, which is more realistic than any other shadow, and to be honest, this is how it looks with on, and this is how it looks with off. It's really not something about the beauty. I would say they both look almost the same, but if you are someone who is realism freak, then of course you are going to choose something more realistic, which is ray tracing shadow turned on. And this is really it. I hope you liked this video, and I hope you found this comparison useful to find out which setting is right for you and which one is right for your performance. If you liked it, give a thumbs up and subscribe if you like to, because we have more other videos about graphics comparison, graphics mods, etc. Support my Patreon if you want to support my channel. But until next time, I'll see you in the next one.